All right, good morning, folks. It is November 21st, which means it's about peak whitetail rut down here in Southwest Texas. So I know in most places the rut has come and maybe even gone throughout the rest of the country, but right now is kind of when it gets the best way down south. But man, I've been bow hunting most of this season. Had some success, got a small buck and a doe down earlier this season, but it's been a struggle too. So now I'm getting serious, bringing out the 270 Winchester, hope to get it done. So my plan, because it's, rut, is to go for that big buck. Hopefully there's gonna be does out there and the bucks are gonna be cruising, wanting to check them out. But also I'm not going home empty-handed. So there's no buck today, I'll wait it out. But tomorrow, if all I see is does, I'm gonna let one fly. So we got a little bit of time here before first light and go ahead and sneak in the dark and get all set up. Well, folks, what an exciting day. Obviously did not get to pull the trigger on anything, which is a little bit of a disappointment. But if you're like me, just seeing stuff, just getting out there and seeing deer do deer things is a heck of a lot of fun. Whenever I don't see anything, that's what's super discouraging. But it was a long day. I took that break for lunch, but otherwise sat the rest of the day, which I think was good because my feeder timing was a little bit weird, so I had a lot of activity between like 3 and 4 this afternoon. Not too much at first light. It was just kind of interesting, and then those bucks chasing, I think, kind of just stirred things up, and it wasn't just kind of normal like daylight and dusk pattern. So I guess some thoughts or some observations. First off, good to see all the little ones. When I was getting trail camera pictures, I saw these little does, but I wasn't really sure what they were. So being able to sit there and put the binoculars up on them was great, so I could kind of confirm that, okay, that's a yearling doe, that one's a button buck, that's a spike. There was really only one doe, true regular doe in the batch, but good to see all the little ones. And then I think my timing is great in terms of just seeing the deer chasing. So those 2 bucks, one of them, that first 8 point, I passed during bow season. So if you saw my video where I took the cull buck, that was the other deer that was with him. Hey cow, get out of the way. Come on, buddy. Yeah, so that was the other deer that was with him. So I had seen him pass that deer before, and even then it was tempting. But looking at him, like, he looks nice, but looking at his body, he just looks young. And so I think that deer, I don't know, in a year or 2 years could be something real special. And then that other buck, I think maybe I got some pictures with him, but I don't think I had ever actually seen him in person. So that was the one actually that got me all excited, just because it was something new, something different. And he kind of curled in on his main beam. It was pretty cool. But ultimately, he wasn't that wide and his body wasn't any bigger than the other one. So I think that's another case where, you know, in a year, probably on that one, maybe 2, but probably a year, he'll be awesome. And so I was in the right place. The wind was perfect. Nothing busted me. So right place, right time, just not the right deer. And then, oh goodness, when those pigs came in, it was... I was even like texting my buddy about lining up the double and trying to get a video of that. And ultimately I just decided, well, when they came out, I still have light where another deer could come through. You know, I think they came by when I probably had 45 minutes of legal light. And then I'm gonna be sitting in the exact same place in the morning, so I don't want to mess it up. Now, if they come back tomorrow, could be a different story. But my game plan is still, buck is number one thing I'm after. If I see a good one, I'm not gonna shoot a buck that shouldn't be shot just to kill something. And you know, that was kind of what today was. Passing on those 2 that were tempting, but ultimately I knew they weren't what I wanted. And hopefully I don't regret that at the end of the season. Second would be a doe. If I see a good mature doe, I think there was one. With all those little deer, there was one that was probably a doe that would be good to kill. The rest are all young and little and shouldn't be killed right now. And if I see pigs tomorrow and I'm not feeling like I'm screwing up the deer activity, I'm just gonna send it, because I always love killing pigs. So kind of recap of today, game plan for tomorrow. So right now we're on this very rocky road headed back to camp. I'm gonna catch up with some of the guys, probably cook a deer steak or some sausage, and get to bed early because I am tired. So I will see y'all in the morning. All right, good morning, folks. Got a solid night's sleep. I got like 6 hours, which is pretty good for me on a hunting trip. I got my coffee, got out here, and I'm ready to go. So we're gonna walk in there. Seems like it's about the same temperature, 57 degrees, about the same as yesterday, same wind. Hopefully it's just a repeat, just with bigger bucks today. So I'm gonna get set up. I did throw some corn last night. because like I said, the feeder schedule was all jacked up, so I threw some just kind of in front of that pen in case something shows up and is hanging around. It can munch on the corn. But either way, today's the day that I'm not leaving empty-handed. So hopefully it's a big buck. Maybe it's a doe, maybe it's a pig, but I'm gonna shoot something. So let's go. Alright y'all, so this may just look like a regular, ooh, bumpy. This may look like a regular shell casing. 270 Winchester, no big deal. But to me, it is a little bit special because it represents a goal. This was the first year I got into reloading ammo. And I don't know, I tend to like things like that are a little bit kind of engineering, scientific, kind of mechanical minded. And this is the first year that I've killed with my own hand loads. And I record my hunting goals every year. And that was one of my hunting goals, was to kill a deer with a cartridge that I loaded myself. So this 270 Winchester, 130 grain Hornady interlock with IMR 4350 is what I killed it with. So not a big buck, nothing like that, but you know, that has no no bearing on the effectiveness of the bullet. It's more, can I put it exactly where I want, and is it effective? And I'd say yes. So let's go pick up this doe. All right, folks, here she is. Not a huge doe, probably about 90 pounds, but that's pretty typical for Southwest Texas. They don't get real big down here, but she's very healthy. The other deer, it looked like there was a button buck, or a nubbin buck, and I wanted to make very sure I wasn't shooting him. So there was that guy, and then two does that were maybe a hair smaller, but she was definitely the more dominant one just by the way she was kind of bullying the other ones. So I figured that meant she was older. I don't know, she looked maybe slightly bigger, but just seemed like a good doe to take out. And then next shot, so she was dead before she hit the ground. So I think it's a clean, ethical way to kill a deer. It's a little bit controversial, but when it's a fairly easy shot like this, I think it's a good way to go, and I don't waste any of this good, healthy meat. So let's go ahead and take her back to camp. Alrighty, well, I got that deer all cut up, skinned it out, and actually since I neck shot that doe, it was the perfect deer to completely skin out, and I'm gonna try to make something out of that hide, tan it up real nice, maybe make a throw out of it, or I don't even know what I'm gonna make, honestly, but it was just the perfect deer to do that with, so I didn't want to throw that away. Real pretty hide. But got that doe taken care of, packed up at camp, and now I am rolling out of the hunting lease. So it was a little bit disappointing that I wasn't able to take a shot at a nice buck, but I still don't think I made a bad decision by passing on those 2 8 points. Could have shot them, but if I'm still in this place next year, they'll be real nice. So I think that was a good call. Hopefully there's a little bit of karma and that swings my way, and that means I get a shot at a nice buck later on in the season. So it was a fun trip, and I'm excited to come home. Like I said, not leaving empty-handed, putting some meat down in the cooler. So got that packed up. That dough is gonna be nice and tasty. Now I got a long drive ahead of me. So I hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, stay safe, be free, and never stop seeking adventure.